Hey everyone, today I want to share with y'all something I've been working on. This peacock, this is just the rough drawing. That's how I start out. I do a rough drawing. For this, I used Papermate felt tip pins. Just fun to build up, so I'll always start with a lighter color, if you can see kind of some yellowy tones, and then I kind of build on it. So that's always the first step, is getting it all drawn out. Next step would be, if we're doing a painting, by the way, next step would be cleaning it up, and you can't really see it really well right now. So if you can see, it's real thin, but it's cleaned up where any kind of things that I need to sharpen up or fix up or straighten out will be on this draft. For that, I transfer it onto watercolor paper in this instance, and I'm going to be using Arch's cold press watercolor paper. It came in a big chunk like this, and I got this locally at a art and bookstore that sadly closed down a couple of years ago, so I picked a couple of these big guys up, and I haven't done anything with them, so I figured I would finally do a bigger painting. The next step would be cutting this down to size, and then we will start the next step. I have a pencil here. I like the look of these corners. It's kind of tattered and whatever. You also have the option to fold it back and forth and then perforate it. It'll have that chunky look on the sides as well. I'm gonna attempt that now. Go ahead and cut it. So I started it out just by a little tear. If a part snags, then it's a good time to kind of be more gentle. That way it doesn't rip the way you don't want it to rip. Okay, we got it cut out. Now it has this cool look around the whole perimeter of it, so we're gonna keep it at that. Our next step will be transferring the drawing to watercolor paper, and you'll need some tools. Pencil, eraser just in cases, sharpener, you wanna keep it sharp, masking tape, and a light board for tracing. You can't see it now, but I'll adjust the camera so you can see it when I get started. I use the tape to secure the drawing down. I've lined it up. I'm like, yeah, that looks fine. So my light turned off, but that's okay. Make sure it's kind of mostly smoothed out. You don't want it bunching up on you. When it's mostly smoothed out, put some more tape on there. Now I have it secure, flip it over. I'll definitely be investing in a larger light board. This one's so small, and I'm ready to transfer it. What I do is straight up just trace it on there, but I do it very lightly. I don't want the pencil to smudge as I'm going. I want to be able to see it, just enough to see it to know where I'm going when I start painting. I'm gonna start up top and work my way down. That way my hand and my arm don't smudge. So if I start down here, then I might start smudging along the way. And little smudging's fine, but you want to keep that to a minimum when you're doing something like this. There's no right or wrong way to do anything at all. This is the way I do stuff. You want to go pretty gentle on it. That way it's not super dark. I don't even really know what I'm going to use to paint this, because I did say this was watercolor paper, but that doesn't mean you have to follow any rules. I've been wanting to try ganache. I guess that's different from regular acrylic. I usually use liquid acrylics for watercolor paintings. That's what I was taught to use making tattoo flash. Most of the time, those are really transparent. So then I tried adding white to the mix, which made it more opaque and easy to build off. I think I might want to try this ganache stuff with a mix of liquid acrylics. Do y'all remember Bob Ross? It may have been before your time, but I kind of want to be like Bob Ross. He talked to you while he did some paintings. He was just so kind and so nice and made you feel all warm and fuzzy while you were watching it. Like I was saying about Bob Ross, so gentle, you know, and then it's just so fun to watch. So what I'm doing, I turned it around because if I can't see where something is, I'll go and darken it. That way there's less guesswork. So yeah, and while I talk to y'all, I just, I'll talk about all kinds of stuff, not just what I'm doing here. It doesn't have to be perfect because I'm gonna paint on it. And it's not gonna be line for line. I'm just gonna try some different stuff. I've told y'all before that even though I love tattooing, doing it so long and it's done so much for me, I'm not trying to make everything I do look like a tattoo. We're gonna have fun with this peacock. Love going with like funky colors. Psychedelic-y stuff is so fun to me. I just love that like 60s and 70s look too. Just like a lot of steps. So I was saying earlier, the first step was just drawing. Well, but even before that, honestly, you're looking at reference photos, you're looking at poses and positions, and I didn't find any like this with its wings spread out, with it going to this position. Sometimes you just gotta make it up. I have so much experience now just like winging it, making people's tattoo designs very, very custom sometimes come to life. And if you need to just trace something, there is nothing wrong with that. Sometimes it really helps to trace other people's work just to get, the general idea down. And then it's not copying them because you end up making it your own. There's nothing wrong with that. I try and draw my own stuff just because, it was hard at first, but it gets easier. The more you do it, the more you learn, the easier it gets, the funner it is. The funner it is, the more you want to do it. It's hard to get started sometimes because it's so daunting, but you just got to do it. And the thing about that is just do it without any expectations. Don't think, oh, it's got to come out like this. It's got to be this. It's got to look like this. Or I don't want to do it because I suck or whatever, because everybody sucks. Everybody sucks at first. It's part of the thing. People just quit because after a couple of weeks or whatever it was, or they tried it one time, and the only reason you're really going to have a bad experience with trying to draw or paint or anything is when you have too many expectations of how it should be. You're being too much of a perfectionist, which isn't really helpful in art, especially when you're just starting out. What's perfect, really? What does that even mean? AI can do perfect, quote, quote, perfect art. Let them do perfect art and make yours look human. That's where it's at. You have a soul in there. And through your art, it shows. It's a reflection of you. And that's what's really cool about art, too. Love that there's no right and no wrong. For the longest time, I was just so too picky. I would get stuck. I wouldn't know what to do because if you never start, then the worst thing you can do is just not start. Just do it. I recommend just getting in there, scribbling, splash some paint around, have some fun, and it kind of gets those juices flowing, There's stagnant energy lying around, dormant, and it needs just to be awakened. So when you start playing around and just having fun like a kid, imagine a little kindergarten kid. They're drawing flowers and they're drawing whatever. They don't care. They're not like, oh my God, it has to be perfect. A lot of people, y'all, want to do it, but they don't know where to start. It's hard to get started, I get it, but I promise you it's probably the expectations that you're holding, or you're comparing yourself to other people and their skill level when you have no idea how long they've been doing something. I would love to explore oils with y'all. I've never done oil painting, and I was talking about Bob Ross earlier, and it would be so fun to do like a paint along with him, like maybe my first time doing oil paintings or trying oil, like just try and go along with Bob Ross. Wouldn't that be so fun? See what happens. It'd be a great intro into oils. And he makes it look like easy, like a true master. Definitely one of those things that I want to explore in general, but I think it'd be fun to try different types of art and show y'all. That way you can just dive right in. Even though I'm experienced in art and I've been technically a working artist for almost 11 years now, at the time of this is being filmed, I still don't know a lot about different mediums because I had myself locked in a box of doing nothing but tattoo art and tattoo flash, which again, there's nothing wrong with that if that's like your number one true passion. Still it was one of my passions, and just realize, I don't have to just have one passion. We put ourselves in little boxes and we limit ourselves so much, and sometimes we don't realize it until we do. I was thinking about this channel, and everyone says, oh, you need to have a niche and this and that, but honestly, you don't really need to buy into what everyone else is saying. I do want it to be art related, and it is going to be art related, but it's going to be like whatever. It's the Sarah Show. This is only for people who resonate with this and are interested, and if not, then that's okay. You don't got to make something for everybody. The most important thing you can do is make it for you because you want to. And come into it with zero expectations. You're going to hear me say this kind of stuff a lot. Sometimes you need to hear it in repetition for it to really sink in. And I know this from experience, y'all. So I'm really wanting to throw like an art party, a couple of my girlfriends, and film and record that. Stuff like that. It doesn't have to be just, it's not going to be just me drawing and talking the whole time. A lot of it will be. You know, and on these leaves right now, I'm not like, if you notice, I'm not going line for line. I'm not trying to go for perfection, you know. I'm just kind of making myself a guideline to paint on. Stuff like the scales is more important. The leaves, you can just do whatever, but these scales, if they don't look right, they don't look right, you know. And even then, who cares? As long as you're doing it, that's what matters. Most people just sleep on it. Sleep on it forever and ever. I don't want that for y'all. Like, if you want to create, I want you to create. You can create. Promise. You'd be surprised what you can do, what you think you can't do. Stop telling yourself that you can't do stuff. If you're like sitting there being like, well, I'm not creative. Bull. Bull corn. You are. Creativity isn't just drawing or painting, sculpting. It's picking your outfit in the morning. Certain glasses, jewelry, accessorize. If you wear makeup and you put on your makeup, like that's creative as heck. So miss me with that excuse, because you are. A lot of people tell me all the time, I can't even draw a stick figure. I'm like, yes, you can. I mean, yes, you can. Why are you saying you can't? You absolutely can draw a stick figure. And I know it's just like an exaggeration. Probably like they're trying to tell me that's how sucky they are, is that they can't even draw a stick figure. You know, in my heart, I'm like, yes, you can. Stop being mean to yourself and saying that, because we all know like little 3-year-olds can draw a stick figure with a big old head and little legs, and they're not saying like my stick figure sucks. Like they're just happy. We need to be like kids again. Being an adult's cool and all because you can eat like your dessert before your dinner if you want or whatever. Man, we make things so serious. We don't have any fun. Fun is just for kids and babies. You're so serious and worried about stuff in your life. Forget to have fun, man. Start being like little kids. Have some fun. They know. It's like they're always laughing and smiling and they don't give a god dang about what anyone thinks. And you know this, man. We can take a page out of their book. Let loose. I say that because I was that stick up the butt adult before. I mean, I was always kind of a goofy person, but so serious. It's so fun sitting here talking to y'all, even though I'm just talking to my camera. I know I'm talking to somebody out there. We're getting somewhere. Getting somewhere, yeah. Do his little feet. Yup. Believe it's a good time to start these tail feathers because I think that's pretty much all I got left. So I'm just going to do this real quick because it doesn't need to be perfect, y'all. Just need to know the general shape of where these feathers are going and Okay, well that's it. All ready to start painting, which I will be sharing with y'all very soon. Thanks for sticking around, and also thank you so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. I'll see y'all next week.